I had these dreams this month, September. The first one was September 9th, I want to say. And funny enough, I recorded the note at 5:55 a.m. Now, this first dream is a Shiba dream, Shiba Inu dream. Yeah, September 9th, 5:55 a.m. And it's funny because whenever I go on my little rants that I've gone on a few times now about how people only want to hear dreams and don't want to hear wisdom, I always bring up Shiba Inu. I always use Shiba as an example. And I say, if I make a new video saying, oh, new Shiba dream, I'm going to get significantly more views than usual. And if I make a video saying, hey, let's read through the book of Proverbs and pray and ask God for wisdom in navigating this wealth transfer every day for a month, I get a fraction of the normal views, right? But here I am with the Shiba Inu dream, and it has a price point in it at that. So this was September 9th. So I was talking to a friend. Well, he's not a friend, but it's someone that I've watched on YouTube for a long time. This is not a wealth transfer YouTuber. This is just someone I watch in my leisure time. I've never heard them talk about investments or anything. But this is the person I'm talking to in the dream. And I know they're doing well financially. They have millions of subscribers on YouTube across multiple channels. So I know they're good financially. Maybe that's why they're the one in the dream. But we're walking and we're talking, and we began talking about investments. And he mentioned how he owned Shiba during the first run up. And when he mentioned this, when he started to talk about this, I saw his face. He had like a painful look on his face when he brought up Shiba. And he told me how he did not sell during the first run up. So he was in before it ran the first time, whenever that was, however many years ago, but he didn't sell. And so he regretted not selling. That was why he had the painful look on his face. And we're walking outside in like a kind of shopping center looking kind of deal, store, strip mall kind of deal, right? And we're just walking through the parking lot. And he tells me how he saw it reach 34 cents. Okay. I know you may be asking questions. Just hear it out. He says he saw it reach 34 cents on that first run up. Now we're outside and we're talking, and then someone across the street from us butts into our conversation. He overhears us. It's a dream, right? And in the real world, you wouldn't be able to hear us if you're literally across the street, but it's a dream. He hears us and he butts in and he says, yeah, it hit 34 cents and then it hit 37 cents. Now, I'm pretty positive Shiba never went that high. Not even on like a wick of a candle or anything. And I guess they see that puzzled look on my face, and the man across the street reassures me, like, no, multiple people saw this. Multiple people saw it hit 37 cents. And so then my next thing I say is, well, if it hit 37 cents, why are some people struggling to believe it will hit $1? Whenever we talk about the prophetic price point of $1, you get these people saying, oh, well, for it to hit $1, all the wealth of the world would have to be in Shiba. They get to all this silly stuff. And he stops me when I say that. Why are people struggling to believe it can hit $1? Because certainly if it hit 37 cents, of course it can hit $1. And he says, if you're trying to understand how Shiba Inu will hit $1, stop. Stop trying to figure it out. And then he says, Shiba is guaranteed to reach $1. And that's where the dream ended. So my takeaway from the dream, for one, I believe the dream isn't necessarily for me. I believe it's for those who watch my videos and may struggle to believe Shiba can hit $1. If you're trying to understand how, stop. Just have faith, right? Just have faith. Now, with that 34 and 37 cents, even though in my dream I felt like we were talking about the past, could that be the point it hits in the first run up? A lot of people, myself included, have talked about 2 waves of Shiba or 2 spikes, right? Could that be the peak of the first one? Possibly, but maybe not. Maybe in my dream we were just talking about the past, and those are just 2 arbitrary numbers that were used in the dream, But I believe the point of the dream, the first point is it will hit $1. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to calculate. Stop. It'll hit $1. Okay. The second point, I believe, is a point that is shared with the second dream that I'm going to share. So the second dream I had was last week, September 19th. I was watching two twins on YouTube. Okay. There were two twin men, white men, blonde hair, two twins, look like maybe around 30 or so years old. I don't know if these people exist in real life. I had never seen them before my dream, haven't seen them after, haven't looked for it or anything. But these are two twins, and they talk about crypto. They talk about crypto and investments. And they are known for always urging people to take their profits. And in fact, when I was watching them, they said in unison at the same exact time, in sync, they said, take your profits. And I think there's a chance they might have been a little vulgar and said, take your effing profits. I don't remember exactly. I feel like that was in there. But either way, with a lot of emphasis, they were saying, take your profits. And so I remember asking a female friend in the wealth transfer community in the dream. I don't know who they are. I just know it was a female. I know they are in the wealth transfer community, but it wasn't someone specific. And I asked her about these two twins because I knew, for whatever reason in the dream, I knew that she followed them. And she talked about how she liked them, but they rub a lot of people the wrong way because they're always urging people to take profits. They're like almost obnoxious about it, like take your profits, and maybe a little crude. Like I said, there might have been an F-bomb in there when I heard it, right? But they're constantly telling people to take your profits. And then I asked her because I could see the wisdom in what they were saying. So I asked her, how long have they been in crypto? Because I'm thinking like, man, I wonder how successful they've been. If they've been, so emphatic about taking profits for, who knows, 7 years now or something, I'm assuming they've made a lot of money with the fluctuations and the different cycles and all of that. She told me they've been in 2 to 3 years. So I was like, oh, okay. All right. But that was that dream. It was just an emphasis, a very strong emphasis. You got to think two twins saying in unison, that's like super emphatic, right? Like they're not only two different people saying the same thing at the same time, they're twins at that. And I think that's also the second point of the first dream, because my friend I was talking to didn't take profits the first time when Shiba ran up, right? So I think there's a very strong emphasis on taking profits this time around. And I think it's because this may be the last time to have like life-changing money in a crypto cycle, to make life-changing money, to have, $100 investment go to 1,000 times that. Right. This might be the last time. So there's a strong emphasis on taking profits. Okay.